to serve you some honey right here on the Hive with me, Bonolo BSting. And yes, we're continuing to celebrate Queens on Women's Month. Now, the lady that is sitting next to me is a voiceover artist, an actress, a mother, a businesswoman. And mind you, she's been in the industry for more than 20 years and she still looks hot, which I don't understand how. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Tsholo Mashishi. Hi, sir.
Hello, Bonolo.
How are you?
Or should I call you the beast? I love the beasting.
Thank you so much for coming through,
Most
man.
welcome.
Because I know that you're quite busy and you said, you know what? Let's just make this happen.
I had to come and make this happen. I am a huge fan of your show. I am such a huge fan of your show. I love Kaya FM. I love your show especially on a Friday. You know, on a Friday, it's been the end of a long week.
Yeah.
And then you just get into your car in the evening and you're trying to drive home and you kind of like, it's done. And then you get this upbeat. Malatsing.
Talking about Malatsing, Osolo, you've been in the industry for 20 years, but you look like this. How?
Actually, in fact, I think it's more than that.
Yes.
Because when you think about where I started out as a teenager in the industry.
Yes.
So it's more than that. The acting part, it has been over 20 years, but just in the industry in general, it has been more. So, but broken up.
Yes, yeah.
In the sense that I think it was around in 2000, around 2000, 2001, 2, 3, somewhere there, I completely stopped television and I just did radio. So radio is still my love.
Oh, wow.
Radio is still my love.
Yeah,
radio is still my love. And I did radio for a while exclusively. And then I decided, you know what, it's time to go become a mother. And I decided to halt and go and become a mother.
And you did that full time?
And I did that full time. It was a very difficult decision to make. It was an incredibly difficult decision to make because, your career is on the up and you're doing this and the other. But it ended up becoming a situation where you are not giving 100% to either your work or being at home with your kids. You're giving pieces of yourself everywhere. You're spreading yourself thin. And I decided, no, that's not for me. I need to make a decision.
I was doing research on you. Like, how have you been? Like, listen, there are people that have got scandals for days, right? And with you, they don't even, like, there's a percentage.
Yeah.
How have you managed to keep your personal life personal and private?
For starters, I have a husband who is as private as I am. And when you've got a partnership like that and you are meeting each other at the same page of the same book, it becomes easier and you manage it. You actually manage it. You decide, what am I going to do? What am I not going to do? What am I going to share of myself out there? And what am I not going to share of myself out there? When you grow up, your perspective on life changes. It morphs into something else. And before then, I could go on and be on the cover of everything, anywhere, anytime, and be reckless and do whatever I wanted to do. But there's something that comes with maturity. And as I matured, I realized, there's certain you don't have to put yourself out there all the time. Give people a little bit of yourself and it should be on your terms. It definitely should be on your terms. You mustn't be forced into something or be pressured into something. Do things on your terms. So those are the kind of lessons I learned as I grew up.
You were talking about a partnership, and there's a perception in the industry that women who are, creatives,
You know what I got? You know what I got?
Yeah.
Industry. That's what I got.
What, like
that was the narrative. I'm sure they told her, no, you can't do this anymore, which was contrary to what really happened.
But why is it like that? And how have you been able to actually continue beyond time? You know what?
But it's exactly what I was talking about how much of yourself are you giving out, and controlling what goes out and what doesn't go out. Look, Bonolo, you know that you can't really change people's perspectives of you.
Yeah.
You know, if they've made up their minds about you, or this is who you are, then you know what? Bless your heart. That's you. But you can't let things like that influence you and how you live your life. And eventually, people will realize, or you know what? I was wrong about this person. When you just decide to put your head down and do what you need to do, they'll eventually come around and say, actually, it's not as bad as we thought, or she's not as bad as we thought. I mean, when I disappeared from the industry 20 years ago, everybody used to think, it's because she got married and now she's got kids. She's never going to come back. She's going to be a housewife. And yes, I became those things. But that didn't diminish me. It's just a decision I made to be the best mother I could to my children, who needed me, by the way, at the time. Because my husband was traveling a lot, and I made that decision that I'm going to be here for my kids. And now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. My kids are grown. I've done the work that I've wanted to do. And I went back into the industry. So now people are wondering, why is she back? Is she down and out? So what's going on? And all it is I'm back to what I love doing.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Talking about what you love doing in the industry, we're at a situation, not a situation, how the environment is right now in the entertainment industry. You get hired because of your followers, and whether you're a TikToker, compared to what you went through way back in the days and now, because I mean, then people studied being actors and studied communication, and how does it make you feel now when you're getting back into the industry?
Can I tell you what a shock to the system it was when I came back, hey? There were things that I saw and I thought, really? And then I started sounding old. This would never have happened way back when. I started saying those things.
Yeah.
And you're right. I have seen that. I've seen a lot of things like people not pitching up for work. When we were doing your Soul Cities, then, way back then, Bo Soul City, Bo Kiliboni, all those old series that we did in the 90s. You not pitching up for your work was the biggest mistake you could ever do. Everybody knew you pitched up, regardless of what you were doing the day before. You would have had a babalas from and people used to rock up to work, Mara, you rocked up. It was a non-negotiable. We used to have transportation that used to pick you up and take you home afterwards to make sure that you are on set. And another thing that I find missing now is that you're right. You get people that are popular to come and act, and some of them make it, and some of them not so great. And I find that what's missing, what was present in my day, was that there was a system of mentorship. So not everybody was able to go to school to study acting or drama. So you would get actors that would take young talent under their wing and bring them to set and show them how to do things, run workshops in the townships. We used to have Funda Center in Soweto, where you didn't have to have money to go there. If you just had the talent, you rocked up there and they would nurture that talent. We don't have such structures anymore. It's either you have money and you go and study full time, you go to your afters, you go to a Wits drama school and things like that, or nothing. There's no alternative. So I just find that is something that we could work on to bring it back, so that those that are, and there's incredible talent in this country, that we cannot unearth it all at these prestigious schools. We've got to find ways of getting this talent.
Also, do you think that female actors are getting paid as their male counterparts?
It's a phenomena that is present all over the world, not just with us. Yes, we have to fight to get what is due to us. But then the problem with fighting especially in South Africa, is that you get blacklisted for being a fighter. It's like that one is very difficult. So we will go find somebody else who is much cheaper than her, who is hungrier at getting this job, and we will use that so that we don't have to deal with remuneration issues. But now, then it compromises the product and the quality. And I, one of the things that I lament in this industry of ours in South Africa is that we're not unionized. If you're looking in Hollywood right now, that strike is literally crippling Hollywood. Is literally crippling Hollywood. They're trying to stand firm, but there is an effect. If today actors were to go on strike, I'd hate to find out what's going to happen. Because we don't really have a voice. So yes, we do have to fight for our what's equally ours. But I will say that about not just female actors, definitely female actors, but also across the board. Yeah. With male actors also. But I find that the fact that we're not unionized is a big issue for us. It is definitely a big issue for all creatives, as we were saying earlier on. For all creatives, that it's an issue. So being in this industry, you need to be prepared to fight all the time. It's how you fight sometimes. Sometimes you have to take the bitter with the sweet. Sometimes you just have to say, no, enough is enough. I'm putting my foot down. But just know that it comes with consequences, unfortunately. Yeah.
Lastly, Tsholo, your words of advice and encouragement as it is Women's Month. And, I believe that you got into an industry where way back in the days, the arts was seen as overcloud. Your words of encouragement for parents also out there, mothers, single mothers or wives that have got young kids that are actually creatives.
The one thing I will give all the accolades to my mother is that when I decided, Mom, I'm not going to become the doctor I was going to become. I'm actually going to try this creative industry.
Yes.
And then my mother was old school. She looked at me and said, whatever makes you happy.
Wow.
And I am immensely grateful to my mother for doing that, because I'm sure it couldn't have been easy for her at the time, because kids who were seen on TV or were singers or whatever, they were seen as, they're not going to go far. They're just going to do their thing and they're not going to go far. But my mother had faith in me. And even then at the time, but now the landscape has changed immensely, So there is a space for a creative child. If you have a creative child, my words of advice to anybody out there is do not sleep on them. There is so much that they can achieve. This industry is huge. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be actors or singers. There are things that can be done behind the scenes. There are things, and they can be made into a career. So don't be defeatist. One of the things that I wouldn't say I'm battling with, but I find that it is within my realm at the moment, is ageism.
Wow.
So coming back into the industry at my old age, you find it very difficult to navigate, to find good parts, to find characters that you can play. So I also want to say to people out there who feel like time has gone. Yeah. That time is not gone at all. If you have a burning desire in you to do something, whether you're 12 years old or whether you are 92 years old, go ahead and do it. There's a wonderful story of this lady who was featured in Wakanda, Black Panther, the first Black Panther. Yes. She was one of the oldest actors there. And her dream had always been to act. And she is not a young lady. So she pursued, she pursued that dream for a very long time. And everybody thought she was crazy. And there she got one of the biggest roles in one of the biggest movies in Black Panther. So it serves as an inspiration to me that it doesn't matter if they write you off as a creative, if they write you off as old, if they write you off as, no, you're disabled, you can't do. You know what? The sky literally is the limit, especially in this day and age. There are so many ceilings being shattered. Find your space and just go and do it.
Oh, man. Tsholo Mashishi, thank you so much for coming through to Kaya.
Oh, you are so
959,
welcome.
man.
You are so welcome. It was lovely to see you.
The ever graceful Tsholo Mashishi right here on Kaya 959. Listen, she does not look her age. I can tell you that. Especially like the guys in the pressure. It is the Hive with me, Bonolo BSting, on Kaya 959 on the street and on the air.